This is after the flag, and the race for the MotoGP World Championship in 2022 goes down to the wire. We are all set for the decider in Valencia in 2 weeks' time. Pecco Bagnaia taking victory here today in the Malaysian Grand Prix, but he has to wait at least another 2 weeks for the World Championship. A warm welcome to After the Flag. My name's Louis Suddaby. Alongside me, of course, as always, is Simon Crafar, as we look to dissect what was a tense Malaysian Grand Prix. Perhaps not the lights-out thriller that we saw a week ago in Australia, but so many stories to unpack through that Grand Prix. I have to say, Simon, I've not seen a race in many, many years which had so much tension on the line as we had in that.
So much riding on it, dead right. I have to say, I wanted to ask that question in Parc Ferme to the beast, Enea Bastianini, because I know from everything he's said and his management have said, as long as there's a mathematical chance, he should be allowed to go for the win. And that's what made it tense. You know, everyone was nervous, especially the Ducati factory people, about Enea forcing Pecco into a mistake, which you brought up. And that's what made it nerve-wracking, you know. And I really wanted to know if Enea had something more, even a little bit, or he was being careful. I mean, I suspected that once he got to the front, he would stay there, and he didn't, which I thought, oh, what's going on here? And it was great. He didn't say yes or no to the answer, but in my mind, he answered no, he had nothing left, you know, because he was talking about rear grip, and his bike was good on the brakes, but not, he threw everything at it, and without, I imagine, risking, you know, taking Pecco out, but he wanted to win, and he didn't, which to me makes it fantastic for Pecco. Pecco is winning this championship on his own, you know, which is great. Makes more value, adds more value to it.
Yeah, no one's handed him anything in this 2022 season. And as you say, Enea Bastianini kind of alluded to in his interview where he sort of said, I tried everything I could on the last lap, which indicates that he certainly wasn't settling back for second place. And as I was thinking during the race, I don't think he would have been as close to Bagnaia, literally stuck to his rear wheel during that Grand Prix, if he was holding back in second, because surely you leave a bit of margin in case you make a mistake yourself.
For two reasons. Tyre temperature, for the front tyre, but engine temperature. The riders have been talking this week about being cooked by the rider and the machine in front, but also by their machine. So unless you're hoping to make a pass, you don't follow that close, because it's not comfortable and it's not safe for your front tyre. So you could see him getting out in the middle of the straights to get a bit of cool air on that front tyre back in. He wanted to beat Pecco. So yeah, again, great ride from Enea. I mean, they were really evenly matched, but Pecco did it himself. So great.
Those were the scenes just at the very end of the Grand Prix. You saw Enea Bastianini waving to the crowd, but we have to go back to the very start of the Grand Prix. Pecco Bagnaia has won a lot of races from the front this season. He's not won very many in his career from ninth on the grid. But if we were to pinpoint one moment perhaps where the race victory was set up for Bagnaia today, it was in that first sector of the Grand Prix.
The start. What a start. He said it was the best of his career, and you can't argue with that, from ninth on the grid. So a lot of rows back to end up, I think it was third into the first corner, but held second because he had the inside line. Wonderful. And you're right, that set it up for, you know, a much safer and easier, not that any Grand Prix wins easy, but an easier battle where other riders had a tougher time.
Well, he certainly had a tough time from Enea Bastianini during that Grand Prix. The Beast pushed him all the way to the checkered flag. Let's hear from Enea Bastianini following second place today. He's with Matt Birt.
Yeah, thanks, Lewis. Another great race, another great ride by Enea Bastianini. Enea front row and the podium, fighting for the victory all the way to the last lap. Are you happy, or are you disappointed that you didn't quite manage to take the win today?
Yeah, I'm happy about my race. I'm not really happy about the last part of the race because my traction was not really good, especially from the exit from the slow corner. And I tried to do all the best to try to overtake Pecco in the last lap, but has been impossible.
when you overtook him, I think at turn 4 and lap 11, was your plan at that stage to try and make the gap? Did you feel like you had the potential to make the gap and then you just didn't have the grip?
Yeah, at the start I think my potential was to try to do the gap, but after 2-3 laps when I was on the front, something is changing and I lose some confidence on the rear. And after, I was low, Pecco overtaking me again, and I pushed really hard to stay really close to him and to try to overtake again, but nothing.
I mean, people are going to ask you, and I have to ask you this question. I mean, did you just sit behind him, or did you just not have the rear grip to make that move on the last lap? I mean, there was no team orders. You were clear to fight for that win.
Yeah, I've tried to overtake Pecco again in the last lap, but was a little bit dangerous. Sometimes we have to see also other question, and he battled for the championship, and it's like this.
And who do you think now? I mean, obviously Pecco has a big advantage. Who do you think, Pecco or Fabio, for the championship going into Valencia?
Yeah, I think Pecco will win the championship in Valencia. Have a lot of point of distance from Fabio. Fabio make a really good race also today, but I think will be not easy for him.
And another good day for you in there, because you're now third in the World Championship. Unfortunately, you can no longer win the championship this year. We knew it was a very small chance, like you said, but third in the championship, that's going to be a fantastic season for you and the Grazzini team.
Yeah, it has been a fantastic season for us for the moment, and we will see what we can do also in Valencia, and we have to remain concentrated in the last race to do the maximum like always, and we will see. I'm ready.
Like Misano, like Aragon, it was another great race between you and Pecco. Maybe next time you'll get him at an congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Enea Bastianini on a fine second place. He confirmed there that he was pushing as much as he could on that final lap to try and take the lead back from Pecco Bagnaia. He's 1 point behind Aleix Espargaro now in the chase for third place. Aleix Espargaro did cross the line in 11th today, but was promoted up to 10th due to a post-race penalty for Franco Morbidelli, who unfortunately has had more penalties than a game of rugby union this weekend. But as far as Enea Bastianini is concerned, out of championship contention today. But I think we need to say a word on his season. He's taken it to the penultimate race of the season on a 2021 Ducati, and it's very easy to forget how good Enea Bastianini is this season. This is only his second MotoGP season. What a job he's done.
I completely agree, and I think that everyone can see what you just, especially everyone in the paddock. I imagine all the viewers as well. The guy's great. He's got that strength to fight and usually not make the mistake, come back at the end, and imagine him having the same bike next year as Pecco, and he's not going to give Pecco an easy time. No way.
It's a mouth-watering prospect for 2023, but the race for the 2022 title is not over yet. It goes down to the wire in Valencia. Fabio Quartararo keeps his hopes alive with a fine ride to third place. He's with Matt Birt.
Yeah, Fabio Quartararo showed exactly why he still is the reigning MotoGP world champion. Fabio, I've no idea how you produced that performance today against all the Ducatis with your injury problems on the left hand, which I'm sure was very, very painful in that Grand Prix. Third, still in with a small chance of retaining your championship, but that was the main mission, wasn't it, to keep yourself in the fight for Valencia?
Yeah, I hope not the victory from Pecco, of course, but at least we give our maximum today. That actually the start was the key point, the first lap. We changed a little bit the strategy compared to Australia, that I wanted to keep the tire fresh for the end, but today I just, pushed myself quite hard in the beginning because, our bike is not super good in saving the tire, so I had to push 3-4 laps till I was in front of Mark, and so was pretty good, and I'm happy to make that result today.
A good start, but it was an unbelievable move into the first corner. I don't think you've ever braked that late going into turn 1 in Sepang, and that was really the key to set you up for that podium.
Yeah, and I saw Pecco was really good in the first braking, so I said I have to make something, because if not, my title chance will fly away, and I've made a great first lap, even if now we are super far away. I'm not giving up, and I want to finish in a good way in Valencia.
We knew you were going to fight so hard to keep that World Championship. Marco Bezzecchi was really putting the pressure on, and at that stage, if he passed you, you must have known that Pecco was going to be the World Champion if he won the race. So how hard was it to keep Marco behind, because he had great pace, but you never let him get close enough to even show you his front wheel. You defended so brilliantly.
Yeah, and at the end, he was 1.5 seconds, then he come back to 3 or 2/10 from me. But I pushed like hell because I didn't want it to. First of all, I knew that if he overtook me and Pecco won, he would have been world champion. But especially I wanted the podium, and I knew if he overtook me, I could not overtake him back. So let's see how we handle it. But I'm pretty happy to at least bring the mystery until Valencia.
So much happened in that race. It's easy to forget that yesterday you had that big crash. You've got a broken finger on that left hand. How was that in the race? I mean, adrenaline is a great painkiller, but was there pain? Was it painful? Was it uncomfortable? I'd imagine it was.
Yes, not a big crash, but a stupid crash. I mean, normal crash, but just break my finger, and of course was really painful. But luckily, Angel took care of me till yesterday afternoon, so I want to thanks to him. And of course, like you said, adrenaline is a great painkiller, and also fighting for that kind of position. I think my finger was something else, but as soon as he stopped, right now I feel my hurt in the finger. So doesn't matter because we give everything. And that's what we wanted today. Yeah,
that finger looks quite swollen. It's already starting to go sort of black and purple as well, Fabio. But as we said, the main goal was to make sure you can still fight for the championship in Valencia. It's going to be very difficult. You basically have to win the race and Pecco not to finish. But while there's a small chance, there is a small chance. What are you feeling about going to Valencia in 2 weeks' time?
So I will prepare myself like a crazy man because I know the only solution for me to fight there will be to win. So doesn't matter, but I want to enjoy Valencia race because I know it's the last one of the season, and then we see how we do it. But I'm feeling like we have to enjoy the Valencia race.
Fabio, we've mentioned this so many times this year. You are the world champion. That was another amazing ride from you. Well done, mate, and best of luck in Valencia.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the best of luck to Fabio Quartararo in the final Grand Prix of the season. He has put up such a strong defence of his World Championship. But for Fabio Quartararo fans who may be thinking it's over, don't forget that 2 of Fabio Quartararo's 3 victories this season came in races where Pecco Bagnaia did fail to finish. So it has happened, that very scenario, on 2 occasions this season. In terms of his ride today, in many ways, it summed up Fabio Quartararo's season, didn't it? He's been swimming against the tide against all of these strong Ducatis. From 12th on the grid, I have to say, I thought Fabio Quartararo was in a world of trouble. But much like Pecco, a superb first lap and then took the opportunities where he could find them. And once again, you cannot argue that he didn't squeeze every last drop out of that Yamaha today.
Completely agree. I did not expect him from 12th on the grid to do that. And I think Fabio's ride today was like Mark's qualifying yesterday. Outstanding, like not normally possible to do it at this horsepower track, to force all those Ducatis off the podium and match the guys at the front, apart from the first few laps. So stunning ride, Fabio. Congratulations.
He goes to Valencia 23 points behind this man, Pecco Bagnaia, who is not the world champion yet, but he does have 23 points of an advantage going to Valencia. Let's hear from today's brilliant race winner from 9th on the grid. Pecco Bagnaia is with Matt.
A super 7 wins now in 2022 for Ducati Lenovo team rider Pecco Bagnaia. Probably the biggest win and most important of his career so far, because it does mean he's right on the brink of winning this year's World Championship. But Pecco, today's win was set up in the first 200 metres. The start was quite astonishing. Second in the first corner. Have you ever done a better start in your career?
No, never. It was incredible. All the weekend, I was miss all the session because in FP3 I crashed and I didn't. In Q2 I crashed and I didn't. So I wasn't so sure about the start. This morning the 2 starts weren't so good, but we all know that after in the personal test we did something on the bike on the launch system that on the revs was so was good for us because before it was very difficult to have a good start. Was winning a lot. Now we did an incredible. I did like 23 starts in the Barcelona test, and from that moment, all the starts after were perfect. So, and today was the best one. When I see that the reflex on the lights was perfect, then the release of the brakes was perfect. I just said, seeing that I was overtaking a row, but then also the first brakes was a bit risky, but useful.
We know there was so much pressure on you going into that race. That start though, and being immediately into second place, how much did that help calm you down, relax you? Because it got you out of trouble early on in those tricky two first corners.
Yeah, for sure. When I passed the first two corners, I was more calm. Okay, I said, okay, now I can start to adapt my pace. Jorge in front of me was pushing a lot, and after 2 laps, trying to follow him, I said, this pace is too much for me. I come down and just be constant with my pace, and that's it. It was what I did. Jorge unfortunately crashed, but I think this pace was meaning also more destruction of the rear tire, more consumption on the rear tire. In any case, he was doing a really good job. Apart that, the most difficult part of the race was the part when Enea overtook me, because I was knowing that Fabio was third. And today was very important to gain more points possible to arrive in Valencia, to be more careful. So I just tried to understand his pace, and then when I see that my pace was better than his one, I just tried to be in front again and braking harder possible to don't let any possibility of overtake. So was tough, really tough, but one of the best moments of the season.
How stressful was that? We know how quick Enea has been this season. We know that it's so important for you to win this championship, for yourself, of course, and for Ducati. And when you're fighting with another Ducati rider, your future teammate, that cannot be an easy situation to manage.
No, absolutely. But today my things was that I was braking so hard, and I was losing a bit in the long corners because he was letting more lean angle with the bike, and he was closing more the lines with more speed. I was losing a bit of time there, but then my braking were very strong, and the last part of the race was the things that led me won the race.
You're so close, so close. 23 points clear now, going to Valencia in 2 weeks' time. How do you feel about that? Fabio put up another great fight, show why he is the world champion, show why it's so difficult to beat him to the title this year. But how are you feeling now? You've got a pretty comfortable margin, it's in your hands, so how are you feeling going to Valencia?
Yeah, for sure, would be a different situation. For 23 points, just missing 2, so I will have to finish 14 if he won. It's like easy to say now, but will be very tough, because sometimes when you are careful, you have more trouble, you have more mistakes, you have more distraction. Then I will try just to do a normal weekend like this one, maybe with less crashes, because this weekend I crashed too much. And be smart for sure, to work well, to be in the front, and if I will have the possibility to win, I will try to win again.
2 parts of the job done. Ducati Constructor Champions, Ducati Lenovo today, Team Champions. Maybe it will be the Triple Crown in Valencia in 2 weeks' time. A great job today, Pecco.
Let's
well
try.
Done.
Thank you. Ciao.
Yeah, congratulations to Pecco Bagnaia, the 7th victory for him this season, and by a long way the most significant. Of course, he was promoted into the lead, we should mention, due to a crash for Jorge Martin, who crashed out of the lead of the Grand Prix. Some of the other stories through that Grand Prix: a fine ride from Marco Bezzecchi for 4th in that race. Alex Rins took 5th in the end, ahead of Marc Marquez, who once again put the Honda in places it's probably not supposed to be in the end. But quickly, let's look forward to Valencia. It's a 23-point lead, as Pecco Bagnaia points out, over Fabio Quartararo. I guess in many respects the mindset for both of them is quite easy. Pecco Bagnaia has just got to treat it as a normal race and he should be okay. Fabio's just got to go for it and just try and win the race and hope for the best.
Dead right. And the thing is, Pecco, I'd just like to reverse back to yesterday. From FP4 on, he looked wonderful. Like I said it repeatedly on the commentary, because he did. He just looked great. Had the best race pace. Had just looked the best. And he kind of proved that today. Just came out and did the job. I'm actually really happy for him because he wins this championship. He did it deservingly. You know, he came out today and just beat everyone, you know, fair and square, and even including Jorge, because although Jorge is extremely fast, the combination of his mistakes and maybe the 2022 bike, which no one else was near him on that spec bike, but Pecco just did the job in fair and square, so I'm super happy for him.
Yeah, congratulations to Pecco Bagnaia for victory today, but the World Championship battle does go on to Valencia. You've just got 2 more weeks to wait for the decider. It is Pecco Bagnaia versus Fabio Quartararo for the 2022 MotoGP World Championship at the Ricardo Tormo circuit in Valencia in 2 weeks' time. If you're watching us live, the press conference is coming right up. If not, we will see you in 2 weeks for the decider.
The biggest race of 2022 is here as we get set for the Petronas Grand Prix in Malaysia. The biggest race of the season here in Sepang is go! Great start from pole position, electric start from Jorge Martin. Pecco Bagnaia on the inside of Marc Marquez, up into second place, the dream start.
Again.
Oh, he's gone wide again now, Marquez. They're getting detached here, aren't they, as well, from the top 3 ahead of him.
It's Martin, the leader out.
A gift. Bagnaia now leads the Malaysian Grand Prix.
But this is the huge battle for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, now being led by Marco Bezzecchi.
It's Bastianini again. Oh, he's through.
He goes.
He's gone through. There was a consultation there, wasn't there?
It is only half a second now for Fabio Quartararo as we head into the second half of this Grand Prix.
Here he goes on the inside of Bastianini, then into the final corner, and Bagnaia does retake the lead. Further goes, they both snake sideways. Bagnaia is your winner here in Sepang.